Hello and welcome back to the GG.Bet Beijing Invitational. It's another matchup coming your way. It's GamerLegion versus Heroic. We've already seen this match occur, and you might not remember it because it was a 16-0 for GamerLegion.
Yeah, it went quickly by.
Yeah, it was very quick. 16 runs.
that was a bit of a barn burner for all the wrong reasons if you're Heroic. For GamerLegion, you're feeling super confident about what just occurred, and I highly doubt we're going to see that again because we were building up that game as to, this could be a close one. This could go, all the way, all 30 rounds, potentially into overtime if we need to. Instead, we were finished with it in about 28 minutes, I think.
Yeah, it was something very quick. Yeah, I can't really remember too well about it because it was our first game.
We had even forgotten that Heroic were a part of the tournament for a little part of it because of how basically lackluster they looked on Overpass.
Well, they didn't look lackluster yesterday, though, right?
That is very true. And we're going into the veto here, and these teams have already played one best of 3 against each other in the last week, so I'm assuming the veto is going to turn out somewhat similarly. Nuke and Train, the most technical maps going out of the way. Not too surprisingly, Mirage being picked by Heroic. Inferno actually being the pick of GamerLegion instead of Overpass, which went so well for them. That might be a bit of a surprise. Dusty Vertigo removed. That means that we're going to have a decider of Overpass. So it does crop up.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be GamerLegion's pick. Obviously, Heroic have had a bit of a distaste for it.
But Heroic have always looked pretty good on the map, which is the scariest thing. Perhaps GamerLegion know that it's just a one-off, right?
I think that's they kind of realize that. Like, sure, it can be an even ground for us. Like, we know we can put up a good fight, but it's not necessarily going to be a guaranteed victory. We're not going to have as easy of a time as we did last time. And funnily enough, it's the same same three maps as they had in the DreamHack Masters qualifier. The only thing that's changed is from that best of 3 series, it was Mirage that was GamerLegion's pick. Now it's Heroic's. And Overpass was the pick of Heroic. That's now a third. And then Inferno, which was the third in that series, now the pick of GamerLegion. So a little bit of mix and match there. The teams have changed opinions of us in terms of what they see as their strengths. And I guess that's natural depending on what kind of playstyles you go up against and how well you know the opponent you're going up against. But obviously we know that from that series that Mirage was 16-14, super close game, so not necessarily like this is a guarantee for Heroic to win and close out. And Overpass, first time around, super close, went into double OT, and the other time was, well, as we mentioned, a 16-0.
Yeah, well, taking a look at the maps, Mirage has certainly been the home ground of Heroic. We've seen them play very well on it yesterday. Yep. We've kind of coined the fact that, well, BlameF generally does very well on this map.
25 or more.
Yeah, that's generally the numbers we see from him. And obviously he played very well on the second map they played yesterday as well. I think that's where he broke the 30 bomb that time. So I feel like if the individuals show up in Heroic today, obviously it's going to be a completely different story because no one was there in the first game.
Yeah, I think one of the big turnarounds, I guess, if we want to talk about bounce back games, because BlameF, he's going to get his more or less. To me, it was Staven. Yeah. Really, that was the big switch around from day 1 to day 2 in that sense, because I think he ended up with a total of 2 frags on Overpass when they ran into GamerLegion the first time, and obviously in their best of 3 series to stay alive, he was balling out from start to finish. He was really, really having a good show. So that obviously needs to continue into today, because as you said, we kind of saw what happened when the individuals don't show up for Heroic. So that could be a pretty dicey affair. And I think what we saw out of GamerLegion for the better part, even in their best of 3 series versus G2, they definitely had a lot of positive signs that they showed for a team that has been changing lineups pretty much from match to match.
Yeah, they brought G2 to the brink with this roster, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible in how they did it because they had everyone fragging again. Like they had Dennis Freiberg was stepping up, Hampus obviously, and Nock is the big player here. He's the one you have to look to as perhaps a potential superstar. Yeah,
absolutely. So I think even Rusty did supremely well for himself in the series that we saw too. So a lot of things seem to be meshing for them. That's obviously a great sign. Whether they continue on with this lineup or not, that's yet to be seen. We don't really know if there's any confirmation that this is going to be the lineup going forward or not. But
who knows? We might go into it and there's a completely different roster this time.
You never really know, right? But the early signs are at least super promising, and that's always fun because you get a little bit nervous when you see teams that might have something good going, start making changes to themselves. I mean, I was already, again, I'll admit I'm a bit of an Existence fanboy, so I was not necessarily on board with the changes they made there, but especially because they had some promising results, like if you're going back to Excel Mock, the Portuguese event, etc., placing second, beating Furia. all these things and then eventually making changes. I'm not always on board with that, but sometimes, obviously, it works out for the better.
Yeah, it's generally like the Swedes were the majority in there, right? And they've overthrown everybody else, and they've got all the Swedes in.
Yeah, I mean, Ships has been in and out. Scream has been in and out. Aegis been in and out. So yeah, they're slowly but surely thinning out anyone outside of the Swedish borders.
Yeah, and they've even brought Drakkid in and realized, we don't really want you, throw him back out again. So even Swedes are getting the treatment, it seems, here at the revolving door of GamerLegion. And I think it's actually quite funny because Prof from HLTV has been tweeting all these.
He's keeping tabs on this.
He's keeping tabs.
Exactly.
He just had to add another roster to the list.
We'll see if he's probably going to be watching as well, but we'll see if he keeps tabs on it. If there's a new update, I'm sure there's going to be new posts on it on Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we're crossing our fingers that we're going to see the same GamerLegion as we saw earlier, because that was a pretty damn fine one. And luckily for us, it is. Hampus, Freiburg, Dennis, Rusty, and Nock going up against BlameF, Stavin, Esatag, Borup, and Snappy.
Well, there we go. The pistol here. We've seen a lot of Mirage in the Invitational so far, and good reason for it. It's a map that a lot of teams love. I personally love Mirage as well, but we'll see if Snappy can step up. It's going to be the first headshot. Coming on in, Dennis will hit the deck. And again, Snappy was a player that was playing very well for Heroic yesterday. If he can keep that up, which he certainly is so far, second coming in, it's going to be a 3v5 here as Freiburg finally gets something done for GamerLegion. But it's not looking so great for them as they fall like flies. Hampus is in a great position though, coming in from behind. 3 players right in front of him, but Esatag, his turn. It doesn't matter. Hampus has got the headshot crossing on over. Borup is going to get torn as well. It's all under BlameF all of a sudden. And well, he might just have to step up in a big way as Hampus dispatched with second kill. Nearly there for BlameF as well. 1 bullet will do it, and BlameF wins the clutch. Heroic get the pistol. I hope. There we go. BlameF is going to defuse. And well, they've done it. They've got a round against GamerLegion.
They finally did it. And yeah, as you said, Snappy. I guess unjust of me not to mention him in the pregame in that sense, because yeah, he was definitely fragging out. And probably not one of the players you would expect to do so at a pretty consistent basis, but we've seen it in the past. He definitely knows how to handle his weapons, and starting off that round with starting off the game entirely with 3 frags definitely puts Heroic off to a good foot. And keep in mind, this is Heroic's map pick as well. By comes in, and a bit of an unorthodox force buy from GamerLegion, because it's not necessarily a full committal, but they have had Rusty basically pull an RPK, which is dropping an SG for Hampus. Now, Hampus might not be Zai Wu, but he might be able to do some damage and actually catch a couple of players off guard. Now, the surprise is no longer there. They know that there's an SG in play. They might even be expecting more weapons.
Well, Borup stands under the wood. With the MP9 in hand as Hampus goes in towards Sandwich. Borup able to rattle shots away. Hampus is gone. It's going to be Rusty with a headshot. Borup will fall off the ladder, and we're into a 4v4. And Heroic need to be careful because Freiburg has just got a Krieg. Well, BlameF turns around at the right time. Nock going to be caught in the open. BlameF will drop the Krieg player of Freiburg as the bomb is on the floor. Not looking too good here for GamerLegion. BlameF's looking for a little bit more, and well, he's off to a great start, Halvor, and that's exactly what you want to see out of a player like BlameF.
Absolutely so. It feels like every time he peers around the area around connector, he comes out with 2 kills, more or less.
Or mid. You know, we've seen that yesterday.
Just anywhere in that vicinity, it does pretty well for him. We can see the odds coming in from GG.Bet as well. Heroic favored here at 1.41 on their own map pick, 2.79 in live odds for GamerLegion. Again, keep in mind, it was a pretty damn close affair in their last matchup, 16-14. So we'll see if that remains. Stavin about to put down a smoke for Catwalk. Actually, no, down for Connector. Might give a bit of a one-way for BlameF here to work with. Freiburg. For Maps, not able to connect, and also alerts Borup and Esatag that need to be aware of apps. Same goes for BlameF. He's tucked himself inside of the connector for the time being. He's actually going to fade out as the smokes do the same. But right now, a bit of a standoff. Nothing really happening for the first minute. 55 seconds to go. Not a ton of utility on the side of the T's. They only have really Molotov to section any areas off. No smokes, and I think that's the biggest worry if you look at it in terms of how they're going to be able to actually get some control over a bomb site. Rusty has gotten some compatriots with him to go through connector, and they actually come up pretty unfazed for the better part of it before Ben7 all of a sudden laying waste to the Swedish side. Freiburg, valiant effort fighting back here, 2v3 for the T side.
Freiburg continuing to go through CT, and he will pick up a 3rd kill. He's looking for the ace at this point. As BlameF and Stavin look for a way back into the bomb site. Some damage done onto the legs of Stown, who's dropped to 49. And Freiburg wants to go for his 4th, but BlameF will prevent that. It's all on Hampus, 1v2. Hiding behind the Ninja's boxes. It's definitely going to be difficult here for him. With 1 flash, there's no utility to force him out of this position, though. So he can still stand here. BlameF coming in towards him. They know exactly where he is at this point. So they're going to try and swarm him, and they double peek. Impossible there for Hampus. Defuse will come through, and Heroic will get 3.
Yep. Valiant effort from Hampus, but just not enough. 19 and 35 HP on the remaining Heroic players. That snatched them a 3rd. Now with the bomb plant, there is an opportunity for GamerLegion to buy into this. Considering the fact that they've done a little bit of damage to Heroic's economy, they might fancy that idea, and that seems like it's going to be the case as well. Freiburg, Dennis, already opting in for the AKs. Rusty with an SG. Hampus focusing more so towards the utility side of it, is going to have to roll out with a MAC-10.
Molotov towards the ramp. May flash in towards middle. Stown's going to be blinded by that as he falls away. Smoke up towards window for Hampus, and this mid takes pretty simple. Just 1 piece of utility. They don't really want to commit too many forces to it for Hampus.
Again, though, it's the same scenario for GamerLegion where they haven't gotten control over a bomb site. It's going to be tough to play retakes here because they don't have utility left. They have a flash and a Molotov, and that's it. Now the Molotov goes, but it doesn't really do much of anything. So how do you actually make it onto the bomb site from this point on?
Well, coming out of the A bomb site, it's going to be Dennis with the headshots down, able to take away Rusty, and finally Hampus springs into action from the connector, picking up a kill on towards Stown. And it's pulled back though as the target. Snappy, able to get 2 kills between them, at least Freiburg and Dennis in a very difficult position. Bomb plant coming through and default might just be denied, but Freiburg, that is quick.
That's much needed as well. Sends them back into 2v2 situation. Bomb is allowed to go down as well. And HP is actually in the favor of the T's right now. Tons of utility on Snappy, but he doesn't necessarily want to use it that early and give up his position. They need to get a move on though. 15 seconds left on the bomb. Snappy is the one with the defuse kit. That's Freiburg down. There we go. It's a little bit labored. It takes its time, but Heroic do manage to actually win out yet another retake here. But the money's just going to grow stronger and stronger for GamerLegion. So if they're willing to buy into the type of rounds that we saw just now, there's nothing really holding them back from doing it again. We will keep the economy of Heroic fairly tempered as well. As you can see, rebuys come in and not really a whole lot left on the CT side outside of Snappy sitting at 2.1k. Stavin picking up that secondary op. We've seen him do that more and more now, especially on Mirage. He's been doing it with quite the success rate as well. Snappy gets a dink through the wall onto Rusty, but nothing more comes of it.
Down. There's a gap to play with. I love this angle because it's so difficult to deal with from the T-side perspective. But if you have the scope scoped in, it's usually good for a kill. But he's going to keep pushing up. And Hampus is not going to get over-aggressive. This is something that Post Malone's quite good at doing. It's just hiding around the corner and not over-committing.
A little bit sad that we haven't seen anyone Photoshop.
Yeah, I was a little bit depressed by that.
The face tattoos of Post Malone onto Hampus's picture.
So if anybody watching has a lot of free time on their hands.
And just amazing paint skills, I'm not even going to go to Photoshop.
Yeah, anything. Just
the more homemade it looks, the better, really.
Yeah.
Now, it's all going to end up with a B push here. Hampus Does actually spot out Snappy. Esatag is also chimed in though, so Stavin not quite coming into fruition with the op, but might not be needed. 3 quick frags for Esatag, and only Freiburg and Hampus surviving to, at least to that point. Hampus left alone by Van, and he's going to fall 2. That looked more promising than it ended up being. Esatag with a quick rotation, finding 3 kills, just denies any sort of hope and dream that GamerLegion had of winning a round. 5-0, and again, doing it rather cleanly as well. Holding on to both the AWPs, means that they actually get a bit of breathing room. Still going to be an investment in from GamerLegion, but not as big as you might have expected. Deagle, full Kevlar on 3. An SG on Hampus, and a knock just going with the light Kev, obviously wanting that op later on.
I know this pretty much, you know, ruins any any chances of it happening, but it would be quite poetic if Heroic just 16-0 GamerLegion.
That is very, especially on a map that GamerLegion picked in the previous best of 3 series.
That would definitely be poetic.
Because that's pretty much what GamerLegion did to Heroic on Overpass when they ran into them in the best of 1. Now, we'll see if there's any hopes and dreams, or if they're going to be lasting, or if they're going to get crushed right here and now. BlameF at least starts us off on the right foot. Man advantage, and well, that's about it as Dennis equalizes. But at least the weaponry is still in favor of the CT side.
Well, Bort is going to take 1 kill towards Hampus. Freiburg has found 1 on the Deagle. Well, that's Esatag stepping right in. It's only Knock alone with the Deagle in his hands. And we know he's good. But we'll have to see how good. 34 seconds. Knows where Snappy is, but they know where he is, so that's a bigger problem for him. Somehow survives that long with 2 people looking at him from the A-bomb site. He eventually will be dropped due to Snappy, and it is 6-0.
Right now, it's looking like a little bit like what we saw in their Overpass matchup, just a bit of a role reversal. Not everyone on the side of GamerLegion seems to be quite warmed up to play. Knock yet to get on the board. I feel like we've mainly seen Freiburg frag, and that's really where it ends.
And he's been consistently doing that, which is cool to see.
That's very true. We need to see a bit of a tempo switch, though, from GamerLegion if they want to stay in this. 6 rounds already for Heroic. Looking pretty damn fine here on their CT side. Weapons are out once more, though. Hampus yet again having to go to that Mac 10. Or opting for it. Obviously could have sacked utility to get an AK. Knock on that glass cannon op. Stabbing with a very forward position up in mid here. Actually allows for Heroic to have some pretty early rotation times as well. You can see they're already leaning towards that A-bomb site. And that's where the execute is coming in from GamerLegion.
Well, Borup standing on default. It's going to be Rusty coming in towards him. He will pick up the headshot. Can he find anything more, though? Wants another, and he's got it. And this is why you add Borup to your roster. He's got the firepower available to him. Stown is going to drop Dennis. It leaves Knock in a 1v4 yet again. It's just not winnable. And the difference today is that Heroic have, again, every player stepping up.
Yeah.
Even Esatag, it wasn't a tag quiet yesterday.
Yeah. Honestly, but that was mainly down to the fact that everyone else is getting the job done for him before he really could get into the groove of things. But you're very, very right. So who knows? Maybe there is something to that dream of yours. It would be quite the wild ride if we have both these teams actually 16-0ing each other on what was their respective map picks in the previous best of 3 series. That's a lot of grenades.
That's the way to deal with this. Esatag, perhaps even BlameF. It will be Borup though, lining them up, and any hopes and dreams they had have just been stopped. It's a 2v2, and GamerLegion go in towards the A-bomb site.
Yeah, there's a chance for Dennis as well to pick up a weapon here. But Hampus has already fallen, so it's going to be on the veteran. He has yet to be able to pick up a weapon. He's going to have to rock this out with the Deagle. Look at all the utility as well on the side of Heroic. Not going to be an easy task.
Well, Dennis, he'll do some damage, but sadly, Snappy is in, and it'll be 8-0. Heroic already confirmed themselves at least a round lead moving into the second half. So they've already won the half, but obviously with the way things are going, you'd have to expect them to win more than 8.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair. We'll see where this kind of wild ride stops for Heroic, though. And honestly, for the better part of it, it doesn't feel like they've been that threatened. Can't really say. Outside of the pistol, feels like that was probably the best opportunity GamerLegion has had at a round in quite some time.
Actually, that's pretty sad, right?
Yeah, it's not really a good sign, is it? But here we are.
Well, Hampus. Yeah, we'll get rid of Estetag. So, good start so far for GamerLegion, but Freiburg is gone. They've thrown the A-bomb site though here, GamerLegion, and well, Heroic can't deal with that too well. Suddenly things are looking good for GamerLegion. It's only Stown, and this should be the first for GamerLegion. I don't see a way in Stown win this, so there we go. GamerLegion, they'll get one on the board at least.
This is going to be a rough one, yeah. It seems like Stavin has given up on the idea of getting a 16-0 at the very least. Finally, something on the way of GamerLegion. Much needed as well. So the aggressive setup from CT side not panning out. Question is if Stavin can hold on. And even though this is an 8-0 lead, it's not like the money is incredibly well off on the side of Heroic. GamerLegion definitely did their part to get kills here and there. And with the CT side investing so heavily into double ops over and over again, that's it's going to make your eventual funds run out rather quick. So Stavin's actually going to go back into an M4. Doesn't even have enough money to get all the utility he'd like to, so that kind of tells you the story of how quickly this can change, actually. GamerLegion, if they were to win one more round here, looking at a bit of a spree on their end, and that could actually salvage this first half.
Top mid smoke coming in from Heroic. Made popular by Astralis, I think it's fair to say. That just slows everything for the T side. A lot of Snappy to get aggressive, but he has been dealt with by Knock pretty easily as the headshot comes in from the AWP. That'll put GamerLegion into the lead again in terms of the man advantage. They were able to convert it into a round win the last round, so we'll see if they can do it again. They seem to be a little bit more comfortable. Heroic are letting them play their game a little bit more here. But Stown's gone on a push through the apartment, so he's going to get info off of this. That allows perhaps the A-bomb site to get ready for this, as the connector is a potential weakness. Estetag looking towards the connector, but he's scared of Palos as well. He's kind of paranoid, stuck in between two angles, and it really comes down to timing.
Yeah. More often than not, it feels like that 50-50 is always going to go in the worst kind of way.
Look at that push from Stown, though. He times it well with board. They get the bomb, and it's in towards ramp. So this will slow the attack of GamerLegion, even though they've got the advantage. Heroic still stand a great chance here.
That they do. See, though, can Hampus find Stavin here? That could be the decider. Knows that off the trajectory, but Stavin's still going to win up the fight. Might even be on for more.
Oh my god, he's lined up the bomb planter.
So
oh, yeah. How is that not doing
there we
a
go.
hell of a lot more? Finally, Freiburg
actually makes it out.
Yeah, but he gets away to CT, and that's a big problem because he's got a crossfire with Dennis.
Yeah. And again, this is a situation where the CT side doesn't really have any sort of utility. They have a flash, but sure, you would have liked to have a Molotov or a smoke. This kind of scenario forced the hand of the T sides to actually poke out Freiburg all the way around into jungle. So quick about it, really. Man, pretty much ruins all the hopes and dreams of BlameF actually winning out this round. He's going to find Freiburg, but no round to be found. GamerLegion, 2 in a row, and now they're facing a broke Heroic.
Yeah, that just shows that a lot of these rounds have come close. A lot of them have been clutches, 1v1s, and they've been chipping away at the Heroic economy, and finally they get their reward after putting two together. GamerLegion will have a good chance to perhaps pull even more back, realistically, here. We could end up at a close half, especially after Heroic winning 8 in a row. Not exactly what you would expect, but we'll see if GamerLegion can build up some momentum of their own. Good chance to do so here. BlameF has got a Krieg.
And that needs to really be the focal point of this round if they're going to have any hopes. Okay, so the bait jump across to scare Hampus is not successful on the first one, but second time around it works just how they wanted it to. So the 1-for-1 trade is in completion. Heroic still need to move forward working on this here. Porup thought about the idea of peeking into mid, but it's quickly denied. Stavin as well, not going to be able to peek into for free. Oh, Rusty kind of fumbling about with lighting that Molotov on fire, so couldn't get it off in time, and Stavin is able to sneak back into the site alive. There's a bit of a stack here from the Danes actually over towards the B bomb side, but no full committal yet from GamerLegion. They've actually dropped the bomb now at the back of the entrance to B apps. 50 seconds left. We'll see what they do of this. Boosted one player up into the windows. Seems like Freiburg's task is really just to try to sell a fake towards that B side, but all the nades are kind of just missing, so it's not really doing a whole lot. And Snappy gets a 1-for-1 trade. Heroic are going to feel pretty happy about how this is going so far.
They are indeed. Well, Dennis might just change that fact, though, as he has dropped Borup. And it will be BlameF Snappy trying to pull this back for themselves. GamerLegion are going to be going in towards the A bomb site, and BlameF is here with a Krieg. Snappy's been caught off though. Great patience from Dennis. Now, the peek from BlameF comes in at the right time. He thinks that the player's perhaps planning, but eventually he will. It's Freiburg with a fake plant. BlameF running on him, looking for the kill, and he's got it. That's the bomb on the floor, and he hears the last player. He can pull this off. BlameF looking for the clutch, barely staying alive. Dennis on 5 gets a triple kill and gives GamerLegion their second. Wait.
No, gives Heroic their 9th, yeah.
The time was gone. It caught me off.
BlameF survived for long enough. I'm a little bit shocked by the fact that Freiburg decided to cancel the plant twice. For one time, sure. The second feels a little bit, well, jaunting, simply because of the fact that there's such a big distance between him and Dennis that there's no real way for Dennis to potentially trade if something goes wrong. If the bomb goes down, at least you have to spend another 5 seconds for BlameF to defuse it. You know, given a scenario where he has a defuse kit, all that kind of good jazz, which is going to give Dennis enough time at the very least to pressure or get to the bomb site. That's a terrible round to lose for GamerLegion. That's not what they wanted.
That was chaotic.
It really was. But you could kind of see the trend building up to it as well, right? Just Heroic doing such a good job of constantly finding equal trades with a lot less to work with. Deagles, no Kevlar, and a Krieg on BlameF, and just really making him do a lot of the lifting with a couple of human shields in front of him.
Well, mid-tick for GamerLegion looks to be successful early. Down in behind, Rusty is going to be picked off. It will be a man advantage for Heroic this time. Hampus is in the window. So, pretty crazy positioning already, and well, shots come everywhere, and Stown's just stuck between 3 people. Even though Hampus couldn't see him, he caused enough of a distraction for the rest of his teammates to find success. Estetag drops the bomb, finds the second player as well. Very accurate. And while Freiburg is dropped, it's 10-2. Heroic will get another, and that was sheer chaos. The Hampus got into window. Just snuck straight up short in towards the window area. Stown just had no idea what was going on there.
Yeah. Perpetually confused.
Luckily, they get it done, though.
They do, and they're looking pretty damn fine here. Bit of an improvement on their last bout on Mirage versus GamerLegion, which ended up in a 16-14. This is not exactly looking to be on track for that. We'll see, though. Still some rounds left to be played. There's still an opportunity for GamerLegion to bring this back into a somewhat decent score. It's going to be tough to do, though. They have an AK on Dennis and pistols surrounding him, and that's really what they have to work with here. If they can make it to 10-5, there's obviously still hope. We'll see. Jungle smoke out from top mid. Here comes the quick push through.
Well, Stown does get rid of Hampus. Freiburg will get one back. with the Deagle and putting pressure on towards Tiger's Rusty. Has to try and hold here. Tiger, missed shot comes in. Luckily, BlameF is there for the trade, but Freiburg, I don't think he's long for this world. Indeed, he isn't. 11-2 here for Heroic.
Yeah. Tiger really just couldn't decide on anything at all in that round. Kept second-guessing himself whether or not he wanted to focus on, over towards connector, if he wanted to focus on apps, to the point where he eventually just ended up in no man's land, then trying to scope in versus a player that's about half a meter away from him. Misses the shot and just dies without having zero impact. Luckily for him, though, the rest of his teammates were in the right place at the right time to clear up the mess. 11-2 for Heroic. This could be a quick one.
Yeah, if they keep this up, it certainly could be. Although, again, it feels like GamerLegion haven't been out of it too much. They've been pretty close in quite a few rounds, but
yeah,
obviously Lady Luck doesn't swing their way.
Becomes quite ugly scenes when that's the case as well. The boost doesn't really come through, but that might have been for the best because Snappy was waiting around the corner, and that gives Rusty the opportunity to be waiting patiently and ready for the Dane to come through ladder room. Molotov forces stamina off. That also allows Knock to get into position towards Delpan. Oh, smoke's gonna fade. There's a head popping up, but Stag not quick enough to react. Luckily, Stamina's there with the traits, so goes for BlameF, and whoa, okay. Surprises Dennis with a bit of a haircut. Quick dink and an additional bullet that puts us into 2v1.
Oh, it's down, missed shot. Oh no, that's a bad missed shot as well. Hampus gets across, gets the bomb plant for it. Could have pulled it into a 1v1, and a very favoursome 1v1 for Stavin as well. But Hampus will get away. Jump spots confirms he's still there. He is tracing pretty well here.
Being very patient, but he knows that he has Hampus knows that he has Rusty, right, to cover the eventual cross. He saw the head.
Yeah, he's just so preoccupied by that ninja box, though. Stan realizes the time is ticking. He's got to go for it. Nice shot. Looking for the second. It's Hampus still around the same area, but he made the right play to leave the boxes and play more into the open. That catches Down off guard. So another on the board for GamerLegion. Well, if they get another one here, it could be 11-4 half. You know, it's still not great, but it's not the worst. Could be much, much worse.
Absolutely so. 4 rounds is... At least you have the cushion of potentially losing pistol round and then bringing it back, but we'll see, though, if it comes to it or not.
Hampus is going to be dropped by BlameF through smoke. As Tag watches Freiburg walk through the ramp room, and Freiburg will take his head off for it. So 4v4 even again. Snappy catching Rusty as he moves through the connector. Will be CT advantage here for Heroic. GamerLegion kind of need this one as well. That's not the kind of play Knock wanted to happen, moving through the connector, losing his head. At least Freiburg and Dennis, again, in a very difficult position. 4v2. Freiburg's been playing pretty goddamn well. And Dennis came close to winning a few clutches at this point, so Snappy peeks and finds Freiburg. It's all on Dennis. 1v4. Flash will bounce off the wall. But recovering the bomb and getting it safely onto the site is another thing. Dennis will take the headshot. At least one goes his way, but it's a 12-3 half from Heroic. Definitely an excellent performance from BlameF again. 21-8. That's kind of the numbers we're expecting to see, but that's after one half.
But he's on par, you know, or he's on course for 30, which is kind of what we're expecting out of him. So it's all fine. This is nothing new for the big man from Heroic. And you can see he's talking about big things. That's a big number next to GamerLegion here as we look at the live odds from GG.Bet. 9.36 on them to bring it back. And yeah, I'm not really sure I would get on board with that. I mean, GamerLegion haven't really offered up too much just yet. Sure, had a couple of close instances of picking a few rounds up here and there, but in the grand scheme of things, this has very much been about Heroic. Here we go, quick B push. Oh, that's a shot from Rusty. What a connection. Follows it up with the second one as well. Hampus has joined the party as well, and it's Stavin and Snappy to do it all. Actually, might make that just Stavin. And he's got 5 players to deal with, and not a chance in hell. That was about as clean and efficient as you can want it. That first bullet from Rusty was something else.
So we got the Danish Deags again, and we've seen that in lots of different editions of these Danish teams is when they pull out those Deagles. It can definitely end pretty badly for their opponents, so you gotta respect him. Gotta realize the Deagles can wield some damage. As Nock is going to get aggressive with the MP9. He'll start to make his way up. Flash over the top from Hampus. That pushes Nock into the open. He will take away Borup. It will be a man advantage being followed up as well as Nock will get another on the MP9. Luckily, Hampus and Dennis are there as well to back him up, leaving Stown in an undoable position. He's hiding in the smoke. Just letting them spam the bullets, he will run away. And he's actually really lucky there not to take any damage.
Yeah, it's a bit of a miracle. Here we are. Stavin looking to do a little bit more damage, but it's looking like it's just delaying the inevitable. Can't get the connection on Dennis, and that's an easy kill for the Swede as he puts GamerLegion up to 5. So how many rounds do you think GamerLegion needs to get in a row here? Or like, what scoreline are we talking before the comeback dream becomes a reality?
I'd say 5. I think they need to get 10.
Yeah.
As soon as you hit double figures, you realize, all right,
you're in it.
This is doable. Yeah.
Well, we'll see if they can get that far. For now, though, they're looking to have an easy time of it. Obviously, with how the last round went down, we're not going to be able to buy up for a third round buy. Nock peering into mid, finds himself 1.
He's done this 2 rounds in a row now, so pretty easy.
If it works, right? And nets himself 2 kills. Doesn't really give away anything all too exciting in an MP9. Dennis does fall, but Hemp is still around to keep things tidy. A lot of warning shots going off here now. And eventually, Hampus will connect onto Snappy. Stavin alone once more. He's got the bomb, though, and actually... Alright, GamerLegion have actually abandoned the B bomb site. If Stavin had been set full course for the B bomb site, he might have had a bomb plant there for his team, but... Opportunity lost now, but he might actually get a bit of an awkward angle for Freiburg. He's watching the top mid area of this, and Stavin could actually get underneath his crosshair. Oh, all right. Freiburg moves back just the right moment. And there we have it. 6 rounds for GamerLegion.
Oh, 12-6 here for Heroic, still in the lead, of course, but GamerLegion, they are starting the comeback trail. And I feel like when a lot of teams do hit double figures, that is when the comeback really happens for not only the team, but also the viewers at home start to realize, oh, well, this isn't over yet. And Heroic still are only 4 away from victory. They need to be careful that they don't let it slip. We'll have to see what they've got on their T side. It's going to be Nock sitting back in towards the ladder room. He's going to take quite a bit of damage on board as he's dropped to 48. Dennis on the secondary op towards CT. Let's see if he can hold off the connector as they start to run on up. MF back in towards Palace. Molotov will clear Freiburg into the open. Borup able to take the headshot on towards him. Hampus able to pick up the follow-up for the CT side. So we're back again into a 4v4 and equilibrium once more. Stown has taken away Hampus, leaving the bomb ticking with the advantage sided with Heroic. They're doing a great job of just holding off the GamerLegion retake attempt. There's only 1 Molotov and 1 smoke left here at GamerLegion. Luckily, Rusty still has a kit, so they have some time to play with. He's just deployed the smoke in front of the connector, but there's a gap for Stown to cover off, and this is going to be very difficult for GamerLegion as eventually they will go for the tap. Estetag starts to spam away, Rusty doing his best work, but it really feels like this is a lost cause at this point. GamerLegion having to fall off, and Heroic, they will get 13.
Well, something salvaged at least into the next round for GamerLegion though, and an off, and I guess armor and a kit on Rusty. And MP9 probably not going to have too much of an impact, but it's not all over just yet. Heroic though, answering back rather quickly. 3-round streak on the second half from GamerLegion is put to an end. Heroic now looking pretty dandy in terms of what they have to offer into the next one. We'll see what more comes of it. If it's going to be quick mid play, if it's going to be mid control or set executes, that is the answer.
Well, Dennis sitting back idly by. You can do a really cool one-way smoke from the position Stown was in, actually, that lands on the carpet, leaves a gap on the right side. If you stand on that yellow chair, you can actually just see everything on top of the van. Obviously, at a pro level, they'll be expecting that and spam the angle, but if you are in like a lower game or in a pug or something, definitely figure out that one-way smoke. It's always good for at least 1 or 2 kills.
Absolutely, it's very useful. Now then, a little bit delayed, a little bit after schedule. Heroic finally moves into mid. I'll get it without too much resistance as well from the GamerLegion side.
Well, Borup at the top of the connector. Trying to spam through the smoke. 35 seconds. It's Freiburg. Sitting back as the Molotov goes in. He lines them up. That's 3 for Freiburg through the smoke. And that's as easy as they come. He will get a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah. Snappy and Estetag though. Actually combining to find 2 answers, but Rusty's there together with a knock to right everything for GamerLegion. Yeah, Freiburg coming up big there. You said it when we saw GamerLegion on the first day as well. Freiburg seems to have these kind of rounds pretty much every game. Just a couple here and there. Just throw in a 3K or 2 that actually has pretty significant impact. This is everything lining up perfectly for him. And that immediately kills any hopes and dreams of Heroic picking up a 14th round. So away we go again, back to pistols for the Danes. Probably a bit of a far-fetched dream to actually get something out of this. BlameF has gotten really up close and personal, but Rusty's there to cover the back of his teammate. So Denny's staying alive, and now more players joining in on the side of GamerLegion to really just mop up. There's Eco coming in on the side of Heroic. Easy as you like.
Yeah, Heroic are GamerLegion choice, so definitely not out of this one. It almost feels weird saying Freiburg doing a great play helps GamerLegion, right? Because
yeah, I mean, he's been on Heroic for such a long time,
yeah.
Right? Something feels off. But it is true. He is, I guess, gone to the greener side of the grass. At least on Overpass.
Yeah, at least on Overpass. Not so much Mirage at the minute, but we'll see.
Yeah. Obviously, you still have to play potentially 2 more maps here as we move on forward. Tactical pause has been had, and both sides talking things through, figuring out what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong. Heroic have bought up yet again. I feel like we haven't seen too much out of Estetag. You kind of alluded to this yesterday, that he hasn't really been as precise as usually is with the op. I feel like that issue has kind of rolled over into today as well. Haven't seen enough of him.
We've actually seen more of Stown on the AWP than Estetag, so interesting. But top mid smoke comes again. This is something that I really feel should be used a lot on Mirage. If you're gonna go for any mid aggression, this top mid smoke is perfect for it.
Oh, absolutely. Which doesn't cost you a whole lot, and it provides you with a lot of opportunities, really. That's what you want. Now, though, Heroic foregoing map control. At least for the better part of it. Really just Snappy holding out. All right, talking about STag maybe not hitting the shots he's used to, but that's definitely one that you can count on. Rusty gone, B bomb site lost, and talked about Snappy for a little bit there. He might be in the right spot at the right time here to catch Hampus off, but he might have been hurt as well. That's why you see Hampus winning around. So, avenues and B apps open, but there's already Borup hanging out to the back here. How does Hampus know to expect this?
Oh, well.
Still doesn't help him, though.
He kind of had an inkling and then just got wrecked anyway, didn't he?
Yeah, he needed to move forward at some point. That's the issue, right?
Yeah, well, it's looking good for Heroic at the minute to get 14 man advantage, and the rest of them backing off here in GamerLegion. And it'll be 14-8. They'll have it up at least 2 of them over on GamerLegion moving into the next one. And Dennis actually is a pretty proficient AWPer.
Yeah.
I think obviously when I kind of brought up the other day when he stood in for Astralis at Blast Copenhagen, he was a beast on the AWP.
Yeah, I mean, probably there's a very few people who didn't necessarily watch Counter-Strike as much back in 2013, 14, 15, and so on. But if you want to go back to the LGB days of Dennis, Olaf Meister, Twist, and so on, Michaelella, or XM as well, as he was called, and Kritten, then Dennis was, like, Dennis and Olaf, that combination of secondary AWPers, them tag teaming up was terrifying. And they were so damn good with it. It's always been a weapon, I guess, that I would have liked to see Dennis utilize more, but probably has his reasons for not doing so.
Yeah, but there's not enough space in the teams he's played, or they didn't really pick him up for that role. And perhaps not in GamerLegion. You know, you've got some of the younger players, you can maybe tell what he wants to do. Finally got the authority.
He's not going to get knock off the op, which is fair enough. But if you can be the secondary opper who brings out the double op, as long as it's not Freiburg, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Then we should be
I haven't
fine.
really seen Freiburg op. That's something I haven't seen too much
I think that was a running gag within the NIP team that everybody got to go at the op outside of Freiburg. And Freiburg was the one always proclaiming that he would be like a world-class opper. They were having a lot of fun with that.
Freiburg has definitely provided some great memes to the CSGO community.
Absolutely.
Thank Mr. Freiburg.
Thank him for all the memes and all the bananas. And there are a couple of frags as well. Blameleth eventually downs him, but is quickly traded, and this is going swimmingly for GamerLegion. Heroic having a bit of a hard time here finding rounds.
Well, it is S-Tag. 1v3 has been pretty quiet, but we'll see if this is the time to light things up. He was thinking about checking jungle, but didn't fully commit to it. That's kind of like a quick check, you know. Yeah, I've checked it.
Yeah.
Luckily, no one was there to punish him, but there's a big scope looking right at him.
Absolutely.
If he is to cross.
Fair few half-hearted, I guess, clears in my day.
Yeah, I think everyone's done it, right? It's just kind of like
surely
the one time you don't check it properly.
Yeah.
He's just there.
I'll happily like swing around a corner, just already having told myself that there's not going to be a single person there. And I'm looking at him. I've registered it in my head that there is someone there. I'm still not shooting because it's like, I already told myself he's not going to be there. So
it's like you have to fight your own brain. Yeah. It
does happen every now and again. Now the odds are an interesting case. Obviously, we saw it being fairly high a couple of rounds ago. In GamerLegion, they are closing the gap here, more so than just the odds also in game. I'll see if they can actually fight this all the way back. It was a 16-14 matchup the last time these two teams played on Mirage, and we might have a bit of a redo. Right now, though, Heroic looking to get back into winning ways. 2 UMPs, though. Here comes the A execute.
The Molotov is burning all over the A bomb site. Freiburg is up on top of the stairs. He wants to try and see what he can find, but he'll not see anything as the flashbangs keep coming his way. Another flash. Oh my god, he's just getting completely... Look, he has no idea where he is. He's just completely disorientated. And oh wow, that is not fair. Freiburg is just completely blind.
That looked so wild. I think that's borderline abuse.
Yeah, it's like everywhere he goes.
Well,
that's quite funny.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? Dennis dropped the smoke. He wants to obviously protect himself from the multiple angles he can get pressured from. Find Snappy. Now just Trying to stay alive. Doesn't want to stay too close to the bomb, obviously. And one's going to be gifted the gift of holding on to that op yet again. We'll see what they can do with it. Right now, though, the pressure's on because Heroic have gotten to map point. 15-9. And Heroic are actually looking to get a better buy by a fair margin than what they had in the previous one as well. No UMPs around. There's a Krieg and an op, and it's dead. Now it's actually stabbing with the op here. Not even a double off setup, just straight up.
Just straight up, give me that.
Might have been off a spawn as well, seeing if we can find someone in window, but they haven't traded back just yet. Okay, there we go. Knock. Down to 47 HP without really having been near anyone at all.
That's the lack of Kevlar, right? That's always a problem.
Yeah.
Your soft opponent ready for it. Well, it is 15-9. One is needed for Heroic to take it over the line, and it almost seems like these rounds that you should win. You know, you have better economy, your buy's better. It just seems to be the hardest to win for a lot of teams because no one wants to be the person that gives away the mistake.
Yeah, that is absolutely true.
Now grouping up in towards B from Heroic. All 5 players, outside of the B bomb site. Rusty is going to be here with a Molotov going in towards the car. Under a minute left, it will be a push in. Rusty's blinded this time, follow-up flash, and Heroic are just on point with the flashbangs. Rusty cannot see anything, but still gets a kill with this down. He's waiting for it. Molotov's coming towards the bench. That's going to force Hampus away from his safe spot. And finally, Borup will take a kill. Hampus towards the back of the B-bomb site. Smoke goes down to create chaos, but there's a giant gap in it. Dennis able to pick off Snappy. Good kill from Borup. And it is a 3v3. 30 seconds. Bomb still yet to be planted. And S-Attack has taken back all pain duties thanks to the untimely death of Stown. So eventually we're going to have to see this bomb plant come in. And GamerLegion are going to deal it. They're going to have to play for the retake though. And oh my god, that Molotov nearly drops Borup. So they've got the health advantage here on GamerLegion. They've also got a kit on Dennis. They've also got a kill from Dennis thanks to that op bringing through onto the head of Blimf. Borup's got a 3k. He's looking for the ace here as well. Move up onto Freiberg. There's another kill for him. Just one more as Nock just pushes through into the bomb site. He knows this is it, and Borup finishes the job with an ace. An incredible performance. 16-9 for Heroic. They answer back to their earlier defeat against GamerLegion in the opening of the tournament.
Yeah, they do so in style as well, and now we get to see more players join in on the fun. In the first half, it was a whole lot about Blame F. He actually just ended up with 23 kills. He ended the first half with 21.
Yeah, pretty quiet.
Yeah, pretty quiet, but again, if you have Borup acing, you have everybody else chipping in, then not necessarily needed for him to be the man leading the charge necessarily. But yeah, much better start from Heroic. We got to see the individuals that we expected and that we wanted to see for the better part of it. The only one I'm really looking to see more out of it is probably S-Tag, because he hasn't necessarily had the best of showing so far in this Invitational, but there are obviously more maps to do that in.
Yeah, there definitely is more maps to do that. And speaking of more maps, we have another one coming up after this break, so make sure you stay with us. We've got another map coming up right after this.